All right, we got Spencer Wilcox coming in today. Tell us about his career. Promising prospect, man. If you haven't got to watch this kid, check him out, man. He's gonna be the real deal, that's for sure. I was asking for questions earlier. I didn't really get much, but that's all right. Well, what's going on, boxing world? It was a good weekend for boxing. I mean, down there in MSG, Puerto Rican Day Parade weekend. Shushu Carrington and Xander Zayas. All right, we got Spencer here. I'm gonna bring him on in. What's going on, champ?
What's going on, Ryan? How are you?
Good man. Good man. I know we never formally met, but I've been around your family since I was a kid, man. Got to watch your brothers fight
Okay.
and your dad do a tremendous job with that gym down there in Steeltown.
Yeah. I think we just had our this was our 20th year. It's our
Wow, man.
20th year in business, and created countless champions. And I think it's all due to my dad.
Absolutely.
And obviously,
Absolutely.
there's other coaches and volunteers behind the scenes helping set the tone there.
Yeah, man. So yeah, let's talk about you now. 7-0, 3 KOs. We last saw you in February.
Mhm.
And then surprisingly, we saw your brothers, man. I didn't think they were coming back, but we saw
Yeah.
Bradley,
Stevie, what was
Steve.
that last weekend? Yeah,
Yeah, Steve was last
Steve
weekend.
fought last weekend, got a nice knockout.
Yeah,
I was in Vegas. I was actually watching. I was, you know, that's the hard part, right? Is when you're away training, and
right.
they know what's going on. Because I have a fight lined up. I just ain't allowed to announce it right now.
Yeah, for sure,
So
man.
I'm in training camp, and they got me with a good one. So Stevie actually, he told me it was streamed,
Yeah,
so I was comfortable like staying here and watching it. But it
nice.
wasn't streamed. I found out like right before his fight it wasn't streamed because he didn't want me to fly back and kind of
Ah,
interrupt my training. So
yeah,
you
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? That it, in an essence, it meant a lot to me, but at the same time, it was tough, man. I
yeah.
I had my friend Snapchatting me the whole fight. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
they
And
went live, eh?
I'm in the middle of a grocery store. I'm twitching and stuff, watching my phone. Like it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so you had a lot of success in the national program. I think not enough people were talking about you, to be honest. You know how that goes, man. But
Yeah,
it's
Canada is very political when it comes to the amateur circuit. There's another
right.
gentleman in my weight class that actually lived with the head honcho of Boxing
Oh,
Canada
okay.
for a little bit. So I think that's why I always got the short end of the stick. But yeah,
Yeah,
and I did good in the amateurs. I wish I would have got to the Olympics. I went to the Youth Olympics. I was the first Canadian to do that. So that was pretty cool. I never got to go to
yep.
the Rio Olympics when COVID hit and stuff like that. I didn't like the route the team was going or the way I was treated, and the window for this sport's real small. So I
Yes,
didn't.
yeah.
I really didn't want to sit around and let people who I'm not even a fan of control my career and my life. It just it's hard to wake up at 5 in the morning when you're you're doing everything you should be doing, let alone
Mhm.
not even knowing you're going to get a proper shot. You know what I mean? Get a
Yeah,
fair
yeah.
shot is all I would ask for. You know what I mean? I would have rather lost than get my spot taken the way it did. You know what I mean?
Right. No, absolutely, man. I totally agree with you. Like, especially when you got no control over these things
Exactly.
that's just like blatantly there that you should be the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I felt too, and I think that's how majority of everyone felt. But what can you do when the
Yeah.
powers aren't going for you, right?
It's
That's the
it's
tough thing.
unfortunate. It's an
Yeah.
unfortunate situation because I think Canada's got a lot to offer, but we don't get a chance to show it, man.
Oh, I agree completely. Like when we traveled with the national team, we were never outskilled much. Do you know what I mean by that? Like we weren't
Mhm.
out. We were outgunned though. Do you know what I
Yes.
mean? Like
Yeah.
there was a difference. Like these guys were doing it for their living. We couldn't do that. We all had to like when I went to different countries, a lot of them the boxing was incorporated with their school. So the school
Mhm.
schedule went around their boxing schedule. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, for us, we didn't have any of that. Same with their work. Like a lot of them got paid to be on the
Right.
national team and stuff like that. So it's very hard to compete at that level, let alone win at a high level,
Oh,
just
no, for
based
sure,
on
man.
on the opportunities, right? We are not far off skill wise. It's just at that level, you can't compete with a dude who's also got 400 fights fighting every weekend, right? Like when you
Yep.
get to a certain stage in Canada on the amateur level, 100%, people don't want to fight you, right? So it gets very
Yeah.
hard. Like it was very hard for me to get fights unless it was at a big tournament
Yeah. And
in the
that,
local scheme, right? So that's why we just started going everywhere we could go to get the tougher fights.
yeah. And I think people don't understand like that. It costs money to travel, man. Like
Oh man,
there's nobody going to help you really.
me
You
and
got to
me and
pay
my
for the
coach,
hotel.
me and my coach Eric Belanger literally just had this conversation literally 2 days ago. He, what did he say? We said something about we're talking about like basically how much the camp's costing, and I
Hmm.
said, dude, I said it's crazy to think that like a 2 week trip on the national team was costing more than 8 weeks down here. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that's nuts.
we got nothing covered. We had nothing. Our hotel was not covered. Our plane was not covered. Our food was not. None was covered. Right. So that adds up insane.
Oh, absolutely. And you're not getting the quality like in Vegas. You're gonna get the
Exactly.
sparring. You're
Exactly.
gonna get the quality for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, what are some fighters that you watched or admired growing up? Like
So
your
obviously my
style
favorite.
after.
Yeah. Obviously my favorite fighters are the fighters in my household. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Stephen
absolutely,
Wilcox, Jesse
man.
Wilcox, Sheldon Wilcox, and Bradley Wilcox. But outside of them, I was always a massive Sugar Ray Leonard fan, Sugar Shane Mosley fan.
Wow.
Uh,
We'll see.
it's tough being in his weight class now and saying it, but still, like Lomachenko was always. I've watched him since I was a kid. In the amateurs, he was my idol.
Oh yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather. I really like the guys that I can connect with. You know what I mean by that? Like,
Hmm.
for instance, you can learn watching anybody, but like I always viewed it as like, how much can I really learn watching Mike Tyson? You know what I mean? Our bodies are
Yeah,
completely different, their styles different.
yeah,
So it was weird. Like I always was attracted to the guys' styles that kind of I feel like I could emulate. Lomachenko's unique, different. He's a whole different world. But how could you
yeah.
watch him and not love it? But when it
Right,
comes to
right.
like Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather, Sugar Ray Leonard, they weren't the strongest. They weren't, you know what I mean? But they were the best at certain stuff, and they
Absolutely.
had the same body frame as me, and I felt like a lot of the same attributes. So growing up, I really liked watching them, and then obviously I had great fighters in my house and in
Yeah.
my gym I could sit back and watch too.
No, absolutely, man. Yeah, for sure. Like I'm the same way. Like I look at a fighter and I'm like, the thinkers. I like the thinkers, man. The chess match, the Crawfords, and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
guys who you can see them breaking down the opponent during
yeah,
the fight. It's really interesting. But I know it's not. Like people love the Tanks. People love the Tysons. They like
yeah,
the
yeah. Like there's
knockouts.
that's very genetics, right? Like
Yeah, you're
I'm not
exactly
taking
right.
anything away from them. They're extremely hard workers. I don't mean it like that whatsoever. I just mean it's a
Yeah,
God
those
given gift
the
to have that
power.
power,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Not
And
everybody's
that's
gonna
what
have that.
Yeah, I can hit hard, but I'm not a one puncher. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So me sitting there watch a guy throw three punches around, that's not going to be my style, especially
Hmm.
on a high level. So a great example, like what you said, Terrence Crawford. I bet you if you put Terrence Crawford punch for punch, I bet you he's not that hard hitting, but he hits
No.
very proper. Do you know what I mean? He
Yeah.
hits very proper and
Very
very
precise,
right.
man.
That's actually who my coach Eric always likes me watching, and when he uses a lot of his terms
Mhm.
for my style because he believes if I want to break down the guys on the high level, I kind of need to have that same style where you're always touching people in the right spot. You're not just throwing
Yeah,
punches to punch. You're punching them where you can see the openings.
absolutely. How's camp going with Eric? Because I mean, my brother, he was down there last year at Split T with Eric as well, and they're great people, man.
Oh
Just
yeah,
let the
yeah.
fans know about those guys down there.
I can't even words can't describe how grateful I am for this. Like it's kind of like it was meant to be. You know what I mean? Eric was my dad's friend for years and years and years in boxing, and then he took the risk to
Yep.
go down here. And then when he was taking that, and then about 2-3 years ago, I was hitting that stage where it was kind of like the sparring. I needed higher level work, right? I'm starting to get to that stage, and we knew a family friend, Eric Belanger, moved down here. Not only is he a family friend, I think he's a great coach.
Yeah,
I've been
absolutely.
here 7 weeks. Sorry, this is my 5th week. I did another camp here, and I feel like I progressed in such a short amount of time, and I think that is credit to his coaching and his ways coaching. I'm very grateful for it. I'm very happy because the one thing I respect too is he's a grinder. He's going to give
That's
you
good,
everything
man.
he's got, and he's not a cheerleader, which I respect a lot. I can't stand that. Like,
The
it
yes
don't matter
man.
how much I
Yeah.
like somebody, if they're a cheerleading coach, man, for some, I just don't even want to talk. It's a big pet peeve of mine, and it's something I want nothing to do with in my career. And another example, Eric's wife is a nutritionist, so it's
Oh,
perfect.
okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
his wife Yvita has done wonders for me. You know what I mean? Like, I can't say enough. I wish I was working with her 10 years ago in the amateurs. When I think about how I used to cut weight, man, like, I was so dumb. Like,
Yeah.
I like, now it's like weight cuts, like, hands down one of the most stressful parts of a camp. And now I don't even, like, don't get me wrong, you still think about it, but
Mhm.
I'm so confident in her routine that I don't stress too much. You know what I
Wow,
mean? Like,
man, that's great.
I'll
'Cause
stress
yeah, wait.
like the last few days, but
Yeah.
I'm human. Who the heck doesn't stress the last few days of wake up? But usually a month out, I'm like, okay, I got to start cutting this, that, this, that. But with her, you eat so clean, you eat so proper, and you still got the energy. It's an amazing combination they got down here, right? And I truly believe it's very hard being away from everybody, missing so much. Like, the amount of stuff I've missed in the last 2 months is crazy with my family, but I truly believe, like, this is bringing me to the next level. Like, I'm sparring some of the top guys in the world right now, and I'm
Yeah,
not
man.
just holding my ground. You know what I mean? I'm holding my ground plus more. Like, so it's really bringing that out of me. It's bringing that next level that you have to make that sacrifice. And I think it's a perfect combination being down here with such good people.
No, you're absolutely right. You're hitting it right on the head, man. The sparring is gonna bring the best out of you because you're getting the best guys, man. That's Vegas for sure.
Oh, it's a
And
fight. I tell people I'm fighting 2, 3 times a week. You know what I mean? I'm doing harder
basically,
than a fight. You know what I mean?
yeah,
2
yeah,
times a week.
those
So
guys go hard down there.
yeah,
I
by the
heard they're
time a
not.
fight comes around, bro, I don't even, like, this guy's getting smashed. Like, it's not even in my head. Like, I don't even mean that in a rude way. It's like,
No.
it's like, dude, you ain't doing what I'm doing. So, like, now it's
Yo.
like, for instance, at the beginning of camp, I was a little bit cautious about if I could keep pace with these guys because they fight at such a high pace. That's not even in my mind now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even think about that. I know, like, yo, this is
You
fine. I can
condition.
keep
Yeah.
your pace and I can go higher if I want to, right? And I credit that to Eric because he's a very strategic coach, even in his conditioning.
Mhm.
And my numbers and everything have gone up. You know what I
Wow,
mean?
man.
I really agree with the way he coaches and the way his camps are put together. I think that credits a lot. Like, in every single aspect from where I've started, literally every single workout, my numbers are smashing from when I started.
No, that's great, man. That's good to hear because I mean, I want to see guys like yourself get to that level, man.
Exactly. Right. Like,
I know Lucas
Canada has the
Biden.
habit of we get the big fights, but we don't win them. I want to change that. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
don't just want a big fight. Like, I hate when I hear guys back in Canada say, "Oh, I want this fight. I want." You don't even have a chance at that fight. You just want
right.
a paycheck. I want the paycheck, but I want that win. You know what I
Nah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
there's a difference, right? I'm not in this to 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 hopefully say, "Oh, one day, oh, I fought for a world title." No, I want to say I won a world title, and there's only one way
Absolutely.
to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta beat the man. That's for sure.
Exactly.
That's
Not
for
fight the
sure.
man. I don't want to fight the man. I
Nah,
want to beat the man. Like, there's a
nah.
difference in my mind. Like,
It absolutely is, and I think a lot of people don't give Canadians enough credit either.
no, don't.
Like
For
Cody
sure, bro.
Crowley, that
When
guy
you come
earned a
down
shot.
here, you get, like, they find out you're from Canada, you get that smirk, and you know what that smirk
Yeah,
means. You know what I mean? They
yeah,
think it's going to be easy work, right? And that's another cool thing. A lot of the guys that I know deep down didn't respect me down here. You know what I
hmm
mean? Now I walk into the gym, they shake my hand and stuff like that. Like,
that's
you
great,
know what I mean?
man.
And I'd rather that was the whole point of coming down here, was being put in an atmosphere where you are being judged every single sparring session. There's somebody somewhere is important watching you,
Yep.
and no one respects you. You know what I mean? But that's how I like it. That's how I think a fighter should come into your situations, right? You shouldn't be comfortable. And I got to this stage in Canada where every gym I went to, I'm known, this, that, this, that. So you're respected, right? But down here,
Yeah.
ain't nobody know my name. So I'm excited to come here and make them know it.
Yeah, you gotta earn that. Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
exactly.
that's not an issue for somebody like yourself who's ambitious, right? Because
Yeah,
you're gonna go in
exactly.
there and do your thing
Yeah.
regardless. Yeah, man. So where do you see yourself like 3, 4 years from now? Because
Three,
you could
three,
definitely
four
be in
years from
that
now,
title
man,
shot.
I really hope I'm on top. If not knocking right at the door. So I had some promotional issues, not issues, I shouldn't say so. I was signed with Probellum, and then
Mhm.
Probellum got bought out by a new company that wasn't really keeping their fighters active. So
Oh,
that's why,
okay.
like the last year and a half, it was pretty hard for me to get fights. And so I'm a free agent now. I've been a free agent for since like January, and I'm
Nice,
liking it
nice.
right now. I'm getting offers, but you know what? I want the big offers. And even being down here, I'm starting my name's starting to be in those conversations on a legit basis, not just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I know within the next few months, hopefully, I'll get a good contract, and I'm hoping whoever that's with, we move. And I don't want to fight bums. I want to fight some guys to get my ranking up, and when I earn that spot, I'm gonna take it. And I'm hoping three,
Sure,
4 years
man.
from now, I'm world title, got that world title around my waist, or I'm right on that doorstep. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm right there. That's really where I do see myself, and I'd be shocked if I wasn't.
That's good talking, man. Because like I believe you're gonna get there. Like that's why I asked that question, and I think a lot of people are sleeping on you, man. They don't even talk about you up here, and I'm just like, man,
Yeah, yeah.
this kid, how do we forget him? Like
Yeah,
he's
yeah. And
in the
you know what,
mix, man.
man? I don't even really care what people back home. I don't care if they say my name back home, because it don't mean
Hmm.
it. There's no world titles there. There's nothing right now. I want to bring a world title back there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, I don't mind being forgotten right now, but when I come back, it's going to be big. Like,
yeah,
that's
absolutely, man.
that's that's just kind of my mindset behind it. Like, I kind of I put it in my head with, if you're not important in the boxing world, I don't care about your opinion. It don't mean nothing
Mhm.
to me. And even if you are important, I'll prove your opinion wrong. Right? It's so yeah. You know what? Right now, yeah, people aren't talking about me, but 2, 3 years, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be that guy everyone's posting pictures of, saying, "Oh, I helped him here. I helped him here." You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
you know that's gonna come.
yeah. And then that's when I'll say, okay, but where were you then? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's a tough business, like you said, like the promotional thing. Man, it holds back a lot of fighters. There's a lot of
Yeah,
guys who are
it did. You
good
know what I
and
mean?
never get a shot.
It definitely, definitely sucked a little bit. But you know what? I'm a religious guy, and I believe it. Everything happens for a reason. That little delay actually helped me in the way of, I finished my college diploma.
Oh, nice.
So I kind of made a deal with my mom. I wouldn't pursue like moving down here and stuff like that
Right.
until I had my plan B set up perfect. And so, you know what? I truly believe that was God's will and God's way of just kind of saying, listen, you know what? You're not going to be too active right now. Finish that. And
Yeah.
then it was weird, man. The second I was finished that, I started getting all these offers. It was weird. You know what I mean? Like, it couldn't have
Nice,
been
man.
like, that's just what I believe. And I don't think it's a coincidence. I think He gave me my chance to set that up and finish that, and then now I'm pursuing this full tilt. You know what I mean?
That's awesome, man. I mean, that's what it is too. Like just getting the opportunities and taking advantage of them is a huge thing.
Yeah,
Getting that call, man, is
yeah,
big.
yeah,
So shout out to you though. You're down there doing your thing. Have you ever been in the Top Rank gym sparring there? I
yeah,
heard
yeah.
your
I just went
sparring is
to
really
top.
good
I'm
there.
going to Top Rank tomorrow morning. Actually,
Nice, man.
I've been sparring Andres Cortez, so he's top 3 in the world.
Okay.
He's fighting Abraham Nova for a world title eliminator.
Yep, that's coming up.
Uh,
Yep.
Very, very, very grateful for those rounds. Him and his brother are great people. Mean dude to spar, but such a respectful guy. I got a lot of respect for Andreas. I'm grateful because he's brought up my game a lot. You know what I mean?
Okay.
When I came to Vegas for my last camp, he put a whipping on me my first training session. He gave
Yeah.
me a good licking, and you know what? That was honestly a good turning point in my mindset, because I said, you know what, like, I needed that. It was like the wake up call, like, whoa, you're in the league now. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're with
Yeah,
the
exactly.
so, but now, you know what? Me and him are having great rounds with each other. You know what I
Nice.
mean? It's very, very, very competitive. It's something you'd pay to see. You know what I mean? And I got a lot of respect for him. I thank him for giving me these rounds, and great people to work with. You talk to them after, you know what I mean? It's so yeah, sparring at Top Rank's cool, man. Everybody's there. You
Yeah.
know what I mean, there's big names there, there's big promoters there. So every time you're there, you better show up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I asked that because I know it's always a full house there, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
good
Oh yeah.
sparring. It's good sparring, and you never know who you might meet there, man.
Oh man, when I was there was like 4 world champions. It's pretty cool. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But you know what I mean? I want to be that guy. So like, I'm not one of those guys that's gonna run around taking photos with them. You know what I
Nah.
mean? Like I'm trying there to prove my case because like what you said right now, no one's talking about me. So in my mind, I'm on that mode where it's be friends with the people that are nice to me. But other than that, like I'm here to work. You know what I mean? I'm not
Nah,
here for fun.
absolutely.
I'm not here
Yeah,
for.
man. That's good, man. I'm happy for you. I saw that you were down there with Patrice Vonleh. Actually, that's what.
Yeah, yeah. Shout
Yeah,
out to Patrice,
yeah, he
y'all.
got
Big
that big
W.
win, man.
Yeah.
I'm happy for him too because I feel like he's another guy who doesn't get enough flack for what he does. He doesn't get enough
Oh, for
respect.
sure, man. When I was reading some of the comments for that fight coming up, I'm like, yo, none of you clearly have watched him. Like, there was so many because most of it was in French, so I'd have to click like on
The
Facebook the
translation,
translation
yeah,
button.
yeah.
I'm like, are these people crazy? Like saying he's gonna get knocked out second round, this, that, this, that. Like, yo, he's down here. Like, I'm watching him spar some of the best people in the world, and
Yeah,
nobody is phasing him. Like, he's sparring hard hitters. Nobody's phasing him. I'm not. Everyone's human. Don't get me wrong. You can
yeah,
get
yeah,
caught.
yeah.
That was the thing going into that fight. You're fighting Stephen Butler. Yeah, you can get caught, but
Mhm.
I was blown away by what people had, like some of the predictions on that fight, though,
Yeah,
because in my eyes, I'm down here, I'm seeing with my own eyes because that's my second camp with Pat, and
right.
he is so underrated, very
Yeah,
underrated guy.
absolutely.
You know
I
what I
had
mean?
the fight. I thought it was gonna be a closer fight, but the
Yeah,
stoppage, whatever. It
yeah,
happens, man. This is boxing.
yeah.
But it was a good fight. I thought it was a great fight.
Oh, it was a
But
great fight, but you knew who was winning. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
didn't mean that in
exactly.
a
Yeah.
disrespectful way. I mean, like, the scorecards there. He was up by like 4 rounds in the ninth. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it was it was a very competitive fight. It was a great fight to watch. It was good for Canadian boxing, very good for Canadian boxing. But
Absolutely.
there was a pretty clear winner in almost every round. You know what I mean? It was competitive, but
Right.
it was yeah, he's a great guy to train with, man. I very very happy to have. It actually sucked when he left before me. Like, it actually sucked because yeah, I mean you build a crazy bond with boxing friends. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
different. Nobody can you can't connect with much people outside when you're going through camp. You know what I mean? And when you got someone in camp with you, a guy like Patrice too, he knows he's got the experience, so he looks after me. And in
Nice.
essence, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter if he had a training session in 20 minutes. If I was sparring, he was there watching. You know what I mean?
Nice.
He's
Nice.
always there. You know what I mean? He's a very very great teammate, and I think I truly believe he's going to give somebody at the high level some work because they're going to underestimate him again too. And those little
Yeah.
shots he does on the inside where he's doing stuff like that, bro, that hurts people.
Yep.
One of the
Yep.
first things everyone says when they spar him is that don't feel good, especially when you get hit with that 8 rounds. Like, and
Yeah,
those
that's
long
true.
arms, they protect us. Like, if I do this, I'm protecting my body, but my head's so open. His arms are so long, it covers his
Yeah,
whole
it's
torso, man. Like,
covering. Yeah, you're right.
he's an issue. He's an issue for that weight class, and I'm glad people are underestimating him, and I'm glad they underestimated him too,
Yeah,
because
I'm hoping he
that's
gets a
dope.
shot at
You know,
something.
yeah, I think that put him at ninth in box rec.
Okay.
So that should get him something nice. You know what I mean? And Patrice is one of those guys too. I think he's the same as me in the essence. Well, I know he's the same. I think he
Mhm.
don't care about getting a big fight. He wants to win the big fight. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And there's a big
absolutely.
difference. A
Oh,
big difference.
there's a huge difference, man. There's a huge difference because a lot of people just say I'm happy to be here, and you shouldn't be
Yeah.
happy to be here. You should say I earned this. I'm here
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
to get this.
Yeah, you're
I
excited
deserve
to
it.
be there, but I'm not like, oh, I'll be happy after I win that fight. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So another thing I think people don't really look into much is like growing in a boxing family. Like I grew up in one, you grew up in one. It's
Yeah,
different than growing up in a hockey family,
yeah.
soccer family. You just want to explain to the people how your household was?
Our household, our household was like wild but chill at the same time. You know what I mean? Like insanely crazy. It was like a circus meeting like a classroom in an essence. You know what I mean? Like it was like when my dad spoke, it was we listened, we,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Like from what I can remember, none of us were. You didn't have the option to be bad. Do you know what I mean? Because we have to this day, we have so much respect for our parents. Like
Yeah,
I there's not much people on this planet I would even compare my parents to. I think my parents are very, very rare individual people, and I think they did a tremendous job at raising us. You know what I mean? There's big
absolutely.
family. Not a single one of us have been to jail. Not a single one of us have nothing. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
it's, don't get me wrong, we ain't perfect kids. We got a rowdy side. We're all boys. You know what I mean? So yeah, we got
Yeah.
into some fights and stuff growing up like that. We got in a little bit of trouble at school, but none of us did anything serious.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but I think that comes from the stem of boxing. You know what I mean? Every single night of our lives, we had a way to get our anger out. You know what I mean? You
No,
don't
for
even
real.
realize what
Yeah.
you're doing on that bag, but on that bag, you're getting rid of all that built up stuff. If you had a bad day at school, now that bad day is gone. If you had a
Yep. You're
bad
right,
day
man.
with friends, now you don't even care about it. Your anger's out, man. Boxing is a very therapeutic sport, and I think it held our household together. Plus the combination of great parents, I think it helped. But don't get me wrong, my parents came home a few times to some fights in the living room. Uh,
Yep.
to
Boys,
Jesse
man.
and Steven bloodied up from fighting each other to having fight clubs in our backyard. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, we were boys, and we were pretty rough boys, but it's definitely different when I
Right.
go see other friends' households and stuff like that. And an athletic household is definitely different.
For sure,
Uh,
man. I
you know
totally
what I mean?
agree.
Like it's definitely there's a different vibe, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's I don't think you're gonna find much more people that respect their parents more than athletes. And it's not that you have fear of your parents, is you see them every night. Every morning my dad would wake up, go to work. What did he do when he got home from work? He didn't go to home. He went to the gym to train us. There's a different level of like gratefulness. Do you know what I mean? And every night I came home, my mom had that house clean and dinner ready. There was no excuse. If I needed to be drove in here, she drove us. My parents never made an excuse to not give us those opportunities. So I think a lot of athletic households can agree with me on that terms. Is I'm not saying athletic parents love their kids more or anything like that, but I just think it's a lot easier to be grateful for your parents when you see them on a Saturday morning waking up at 5 a.m. to take you to a hockey game. You know what I mean? Like it builds that different. I think it builds a different bond between your parents too. They suffer with you during the sports, if that makes sense.
Sorry, y'all. Just had a whole malfunction there on my computer, but I'm gonna end the stream now. Shout out to Spencer Wilcox for coming on, man, and talking his talk, showing us what's good. As you see, 7-0, 3 KOs. He's got a fight coming up. The young man is extremely talented. Go follow him on Instagram, Spencer underscore Wilcox. He's a great fighter, man. He's a really good fighter. And if you guys haven't watched him already, go on YouTube, type him in, check him out. I think this kid's gonna be special, man. I think he's gonna be really, really good. But yeah, I'm gonna try to circle back once he can tell us his date of his fight and his opponent. I'll circle back and we'll get the rest of the details from him on how camp is going. He kind of already explained a bit of it, but yeah, man, that's a Canadian to watch, Spencer Wilcox. But I'm out. Peace.